Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Betsy and I make makeup and beauty history videos. And if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, then I'll leave a playlist of every single time period that I've done so far in the description for you. So if you love makeup or you love history, or if like me you love both combined, then please subscribe so you don't miss where we travel to next. So a few months ago I did a video on ancient Persian makeup. So I thought it would also be interesting to do a video on 19th century Persian beauty standards because as you can see they are quite interesting. So that's what we're doing today. And I'm just putting out my usual disclaimer as well. I am not an expert. I do these videos purely for fun. So there may be some things that I do say in this that are slightly incorrect. Please feel free to correct me in the comments if they are, as long as we all keep our comments nice and pleasant to each other. If I catch an attitude in my comment section, I'm just going to delete it because I can't be arsed dealing with people's attitudes, to be quite honest. But if you would like a little visual representation of what Persian women's makeup in the 1800s may have looked like, then please keep watching. Before I get into this as well, I'm having a really bad period right now, so if my mood is a little bit flat in this video, that's why. I was fine for about 6 months, but then sometimes I just randomly have a really painful period. So yeah, but anyway, when we think of beauty in today's modern Western beauty standards, we often imagine flawless skin, symmetrical faces, and a hairless upper lip. But in 19th century Persia, the picture was very different. Makeup was used to enhance specific features that were considered the height of beauty. A pale, smooth face, a thick, larger frame, connected or nearly connecting eyebrows, a visible mustache, and rosy cheeks and lips were all the rage. This aesthetic, particularly popular during the Qajar dynasty, was significantly different to contemporary Western beauty standards. In fact, one particular woman, Princess Fatma Canon, was considered the height of beauty, not in spite of her facial hair, but because of it. Born in 1855, Princess Fatma was the daughter of one of the longest reigning monarchs of the Qajar dynasty. Known for her noble stature, her sharp wit, and striking charm, she began to symbolize the ideal Persian woman at the time. In fact, because of her, facial hair was not just accepted, it was coveted. So much so that women would paint on mustaches or darken their own upper lip hair with mascara to replicate her look. One story also claims that 13 men ended their lives after she rejected their marriage proposals. However, historians believe that this is a myth, but that just shows how much attention she drew. Married at age just 11, she took on her royal duties very early and took them very seriously. Her half-sister, Taj al-Sultani, became actually a very famous feminist writer. However, Fatima remained a public figure in her more traditional role. Taj al-Sultani was, however, considered to be the first Persian feminist. In fact, she is remembered as being the first woman in the royal court to remove her hijab and wear Western style clothes. But anyway, moving on to the actual products that they used. In terms of skincare, rose water was a prominent ingredient for both its skin refreshing properties and its pleasant scent. Sheep fat soap was also common, with fragrant soaps being imported for special occasions like weddings. Like most time periods up until this point where deserts are present, the Iranians in the 1800s used coal. Coal is a substance typically made from grinding galena, aka lead sulfite, and was used so widely in the world because of its protective properties. Coal at the time was not just for aesthetic purposes, it was practical and slightly medicinal as well, as the protective properties of coal have been shown to keep glare from the sun, sand, and infections out of the eyes. And in a lot of cultures throughout the world, it's also believed to help with eyesight as well. And not only was this a literal eye protector, they also believed that it helped protect from the evil eye. And it is still widely used in Persian culture to this day for all of these purposes. However, if they couldn't afford coal, they could make their eyeliner with soot and ground oil seeds like almonds and hazelnut. And the coal at the time was also kept in their own little special coal pots. It was applied to the lash lines and rims of the eyes using a small wooden, ivory, or metal stick, which was sometimes moistened with saliva or water to create a paste. Traditionally, in a lot of texts, this shape was described as being almond shaped. That's kind of what I've tried to replicate today as well. And judging from a lot of the artworks that I saw of the time as well, this would have been slightly smudged. So I also did that today, did a little smoky wing situation today. I did also apply this to my lashes, as they did also wear it as mascara, but apparently forgot to film it, so sauce. A light and even skin tone was desired, achieved by using a white stone called sefidab to remove dead skin cells and also brighten the complexion. Like most time periods up until this point, pale skin was the beauty standard because it meant that you were rich enough to sit inside leisurely all day and not have a labour-intensive job out in the sun. Sefidab is essentially a gentle exfoliator to remove dead skin cells, but it also leaves a slight white residue on the face. Sefidab translates to white water in Old Persian and traditionally was made from a mixture of sheep marrow and white flowers. It is an ancient beauty secret traditionally paired with a kisa scrubbing glove to cleanse the body and the face, leaving the skin smooth and brightened. It can also aid in minimising pores and is also high in a lot of minerals that are greatly beneficial for the skin. I've spoken about sefidab on my channel many times before and how much I absolutely love it. I would highly recommend it. It makes your skin feel so smooth after. And it's also a natural exfoliator, so it's not going to do too much damage to the skin as a normal exfoliator would as well, you know. I kind of need a little bit of gentle exfoliation every day or else my skin just looks crap, so this is what I've been reaching for the most recently for that, and my skin has never felt better, to be honest. Sorkab, or rouge, often mentioned in classic Persian literature, was a red powder or paste applied to the cheeks and the lip to make the complexion appear healthier, which I mean is kind of why we still wear blusher now, so not much has really changed there. This was originally made from either powdered red marble or a specific Sorkab medicinal plant, which was applied to the cheeks and lips to give a vibrant rosy colour. This plant also reportedly had anti-inflammatory properties to it and at the time was also used to treat spots. The flower of this plant reportedly resembled a bunch of black or red grapes, however it could also be dried in the sun and ground into a powder and used as a more traditional blusher. Thick, dark eyebrows that often met in the middle were a prized feature, for which women would use a plant-based product called vasme, made from the woad plant, to darken and thicken them, believing that these dark and thick eyebrows signified great intelligence and elegance. And because of the Qajar sisters, a faint downy moustache on the upper lip was considered to be beautiful and a sign of maturity in young girls, and women would often use makeup, specifically the kohl, to emphasize and paint on this feature. At this time, women were celebrated for having more masculine beauty standards, and the beauty standards were very interchangeable between men and women. Men themselves would wear this kohl and this rouge on their cheek. Likewise, beardless men with delicate features were considered to be the most beautiful. However, these beauty standards did begin to change as Persians travelled more into Europe after the 1800s, so it was actually pretty popular for men and women to look the same. There was no distinct definition between gendered beauty roles in their society. For special occasions like weddings, a small spangle in the shape of a star and a crescent might be placed on the forehead or the cheeks, and a Karl beauty spot was sometimes painted near the mouth using a mixture called Galia. A Karl is one of the many aspects of the Iranian haft Arash, and still to this day is utilised in Persian culture as a symbol of women's true beauty. Henna was used extensively for dyeing and beautifying the fingernails, fingertips, the hands, feet and the hair, and a wide array of aromatics like, again, the rose water. Ambergris, musk and lavender were available to create scented perfume. However, by the late 19th century, Western influence began introducing different ideals, shifting away from the heavily adorned Persian look to more Western style beauty standards, though traditional elements still have persisted. Today, social media in particular, I feel completely flattens beauty standards. The lack of unique beauty and diversity in today's beauty standard means that everyone looks exactly the same, and controversial opinion, it's so fucking boring. In contrast, Fatma Canon and her sister Taj al-Sultane are two women that I really greatly admire, in particular for being sort of a pillar for women to claim their beauty in however they are, in their true authentic self. While yes, they were the beauty standard of their time, today in particular women can really look back on these two women and say to themselves, hey, I don't need to look a certain way to think that I'm beautiful. I can be beautiful as I am, you know? Did I explain that right? Probably not. I was trying to get deep then, but it didn't really work. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you all really enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And once again, I will leave a playlist of every single time period that I've done so far in the description for you. There's only one more in this series left in this year, so it will be a very special one. So stay tuned for that next week. Once again, my camera battery is running out because I'm really bad at forgetting to charge it. I will link the Sophie Dab and the coal that I used in this video in the description for you as well, in case you want to purchase. I don't know. Once again, I've said this before, but I love when cultures have a slightly different beauty ideal to traditional Western beauty standards. I just think it's so much more interesting, to be honest. It's more fun to learn about. But if you yourself did enjoy this video, then please let me know, and also leave any suggestions for future time periods that you really want to see next. We will be moving on to the 20th century in the new year, so if you would also like to see that, then please subscribe and stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will see you in my next one as well.